And as always, our agenda in yoga is to realize that we are the awareness beyond our mind and body. Basically, we're in our meditation and yoga, we're just trying different pathways into that realization. It's so easy for the mind to co-opt that journey. I was listening to a talk this morning and the speaker was talking about how sometimes our practice can be co-opted by the mind, and so the mind becomes a very good yogi, or a very good seeker. And really our practice is about letting go of that seeking, letting go of the seeking in the mind, to kind of switch off the trying and just relax into the being. And it's kind of, we get there by the opposite of effort, really. It's just a matter of relaxing into being and seeing. And I'm reminded of a lovely quote from a Vedanta teacher that says, practice is just about realizing what we are not, and then what we are is revealed. As you rest in meditation and arrive, just noticing and letting go of any sense of trying, or it is the mind that tries. And if our practice reveals to us the trying mind, or all the places where our mind stays involved in our practice, then we have the possibility of sinking below the mind, below the trying, and experiencing that being awareness, that reality beyond the mind and body. And relaxing into that being, feeling the body being breathed, each breath alivening and nourishing all the cells of your body. Letting go of effort, letting go of the trying mind. Now feel free to remain in your meditation, or if you'd like to join me with a starting mantra, then slowly make your way up to sitting. And as you come to sitting, sit comfortably, spine long. And we'll begin with the chant, the Asat to Sat, from ignorance to knowledge, tamas to jyotir, the sloth of that ignorance, to the light, the wisdom, light of wisdom, and from mrityor to amrita, from death to immortality. So that is the meaning of what we're chanting. If you wish to join me, first time round, I'll call in response. Thereafter, join me as you can. Begin together with a single Om. Inhale. Om. Asatuma Satgamaya. Asatuma Satgamaya. Tamasuma Chote Gramaya. Tamasuma Chote Gramaya. Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. Asatuma Satgamaya. Tamasuma Chote Gramaya. Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. Asatuma Satgamaya. Tamasuma Chote Gramaya. Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. Inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And feeling back into the awareness that underlies the thoughts, underlies the words. Just feeling those words and thoughts always happen upon the substratum of silence. And that silence is there whether the words are manifest or not. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And let's slowly make our way over to hands and knees. Hands a little bit ahead of the shoulders, a little bit wider than the shoulders. Nice gentle cat-cow to begin. And taking moments to ground down the ball of the index finger, really maximise the contact of the palm on the floor. Elbow creases facing each other. Feeling the reach and retract in the shoulders as you arch and round the spine. Just feeling the strength in the arms. And then come to a straight back position with the strength of the arms, toes tucked under, and we're going to push up and back to down dog. And just move gently in and out of it, trying to keep that groundedness through your palms. You feel forearm muscles working, hands working, and just seeing how it changes your experience of your down dog and the transition between the two positions. And then from hands and knees or from down face dog, look between the hands, step the right leg forward. Now you can use bricks if you like, you don't need to. Inhale, lunge, tap the back toes under, exhale, lengthen out. Lengthening through the back of the front leg. Also feeling the contribution of those leg muscles to straighten the leg, not just pushing up with the hands. Feel that strength around the knee through the entire range of movement. And then next time you come down, bring the hands down on the inside of the front foot. Maybe sinking a little bit deeper, maybe close to the elbows, lift the back knee, extend out to the heel. Your option too, if you're a little bit tight in your hips, is just to take the foot wide and come into that Ardha Chandrasana. It's actually the same stretch from the point of view of the front hip. Maybe slightly different, but close enough. Okay, and then lower the back knee. Hands firm, step back to hands and knees or down face dog. And step forward with your second side. Left leg forward. Lunge and lengthen on the second side. Moving through your comfortable range of movement. Legs strong, not taking all the weight on the hands. And next time you come down, drop the hands down on the inside of the front foot, maybe down to the elbows. Lift the back knee, extend out to the heel. Ardha Chandrasana if that doesn't work for your hips. And lowering the back knee, hands firm, pressing back to hands and knees. Establish the palmar pressure on the floor with your hands. Press out to down dog and stay there. Relaxed breathing. Really exploring the pose. So maybe walking your dog, bending one knee at a time. Swing the hips side to side, stretch through alternate shoulders. And then take a break. Lower the knees to the floor, rest in child pose. Okay, inhale back to hands and knees. Strong hands, fingers spread wide, elbow creases facing each other. Now keep a firm pressure on the grounded hand arm. We're going to lift the right leg, bring the heel to the buttock and open out to the side. So we're going to do this in a moment in down face dog, but this is a nice, easy review. Okay, unwinding, take that leg down. Have we still got volume okay? Yeah, okay. My battery light's flashing a little. Okay, second side, lifting the left leg, bending heel to buttock and opening out to the side. So the nice thing about doing it on hands and knees is it grounds the grounded leg. You can't cheat by turning that knee in. So feel nice opening through the groin. And it also makes it easy to keep this leg high. Okay, so unwinding, straighten out the leg, knees together. Now, if you like, you can stay with that, or otherwise come into down face dog with the feet together. And we do the same thing in down face dog. So wherever you are, lifting the right leg. Stage 1 is lift the leg. Stage 2 is heel to buttock. And then stage 3 is to open out to the side. Now, if you're in the down dog, keep the left outer thigh tucking back. Left outer thigh lifting. Don't let the knee roll in. Stretch through the groin, lift the knee high. And then unwinding, straighten the leg out. Okay, bring the feet or the knees together. And second side. A little break. If you're in hands and knees and want a little break, that's fine. Oh, you're all there. Okay, left leg high, heel to buttock, open out to the side. And notice the tendency for the right knee to drop in. Keep turning the outer thigh outward. Strong arms. If possible, keep grounding that ball of the index finger down. Just really keeping the arm muscles enlivened. Okay, and unwinding, straighten the leg, feet together, and wherever you are, dropping the knees to the floor, straight into child pose if you like, or if you're able to, just sit upright for a minute and let the hips drop down between the heels. Okay, so if you want to just get a little bit deeper into that wide-legged forward bend, wide-legged child pose, just taking a few moments to let the body weight sink down into the hips. Now, if you've got issues with hips or knees, straight into it. Knees a little bit closer together if the knees are uncomfortable. And if you're sitting between your heels, just gently tipping the pelvis forward and back before you roll the pelvis all the way forward. And rest in the wide-legged child pose. So I think I put a little video up. It might be scheduled to come up a YouTube clip, and we do this with the bolster. Maybe we did it last week actually, with lying on the bolster. And so that's nice if you've got issues with your hips and you need to just take the weight out of the hip or the knees. So just remember that as an option. Tricia and some others of you might like this. Yeah, a few thumbs ups. Feel the breath in the back of the body, nice and relaxed. Sinking into the hips, opening through the groins. And then when you're ready, walking the hands back up. And if you can take a breath, we're going to come down into forearm dog, or slowly towards forearm dog. Okay, if you've got a brick, place the brick between the web space, so the thumb and the index finger wrap around the brick. That way you can still maximise the contact of the palm with the floor. And of course now we're also trying to press the inside border of the forearm down. And we're not going to go anywhere in a hurry. I just want you to investigate this action in the forearm before we come up. So first focus is maximise the contact of the palms with the floor, maximise the contact of the inner forearm with the floor. And then for a moment, squeeze the brick with the index finger. So get a little bit of action, internal rotation action in the shoulder. See if you can feel that. You're squeezing the brick. Feel what happens in the shoulders. It's a really nice way to strengthen the internal rotators. And this is already quite hard working, so you don't need to come into forearm dog. Of course we will, but you know, if you need to take a break and don't feel like you're working any the less for staying right here. Okay, so we'll relax the squeeze on the brick and now press the hands and forearms down into the floor. Tuck the toes under. Now, even just that pressing down action, feel how that activates the backs of the arms, activates the rotator cuff. And that's hard work. But if you want to work harder still, lifting up. First focus is on pushing the back of the chest up into the shoulder blades. Second focus is in gliding back. And feel free to move in and out of it as you wish. Returning to the brick squeeze or the isometric, just pressing the hands down. We're going to do it 3 times. So let's relax down now and have a little break. You can rest back in child pose. Keep the arms stretched forward to stretch out through the shoulders, or give the shoulders a break, rest your head on your hands. When you're ready, coming back to forearms and knees, taking your time, second round, lingering with the knees down or racing to forearm dog, knees up. Just putting the focus where you most need it. Taking your time wherever you are, focusing on the breath, keeping a nice relaxed breath. When you're ready, take your second break, relaxing. Third and final time, inhale, forearms and knees, staying there as long as you like, or exhaling up into down face dog, forearm dog. Okay, now lower the knees to the floor and immediately press up into down face dog. Feel how easy down face dog feels after forearm dog. Really enjoying that stretch out through the shoulders now. Be mindful of the alignment of the arms. The elbow creases facing each other in neutral rotation. Really perhaps easier now to really ground down the ball of the index finger. And then look between the hands, step, walk or jump the feet forward and come up to standing. Nice strong shoulder sequence. So relaxing into Tadasana now. And just feeling into the body. Feeling into the shoulders particularly, maybe gently rolling the shoulders. Feel down into the feet. And feel all the areas in between. So let's just have a nice, easy stretch out through one arm at a time. Inhale up, exhale down. Nice flowing movement now, just letting the arm float up, floating up with ease. And exhaling, bring the hands onto the hips. Step the feet wide along the long line of your mat. And gently figure eight the hips. Figure eight one way, figure eight the other way. And then coming into a neutral position, inhale the arms high and wide. Face the biceps up, face the palms up. Feel how that lifts the chest and opens the chest. Press the feet down. On each exhale, engage the pelvic floor. On each inhale, get a sense of lengthening up through the spine. Feel the chest rising up with each inhale. Now turn through the forearms to place the palms forward. Feel how the forearms move independently of the upper arm. And then exhale the hands back to the hips. Turn the right foot out to 90, left toes in. Okay, let's check the legs. Check the legs fairly wide. We'll come into warrior two. So fairly wide stride, interlace the hands behind the back, draw the palms down, and then bend the right knee, send that knee out over the middle toes. So right knee draws back, right groin presses forward, right outer thigh tucks down. Lengthen from the navel to the outside of the left heel. And then release the arms, inhale them high and wide. Biceps up, palms up. Check back arms parallel to the floor. Turn through the forearm to place the palm down. And then same thing with the leading arm. Focus the gaze on the right middle finger. Feel the breath in the spine, sensing inhale and exhale are even in length. Now on an exhale, slide down into Parsvakonasana. And take the hand down the shin to the foot of the floor or rest the elbow and bent knee. Reach the left arm up to 12 o'clock. And really try to maintain that turning through the rib cage to face the front. Okay, to face your chest to the front. Looking up to the sky or down to the floor. Continuing to sense the breath in the spine. Virginia, just take your arm a little higher. It's a little bit back. Take it up like that. Yeah, a little bit higher and forward. So all of you really reach up with that up. Perfect, Virginia. That's great. Lovely. Okay, now strong in the legs, come up. Push the feet down, push up. Hands to the hips, feet to the front. Second side, left foot out to 90, right toes in. Interlace the hands behind the back. Bend that left knee, send it out over the middle toes. Left knee back, left outer thigh down, left groin forward. Lengthen from the navel to the outer right heel. So this position automatically opens the chest. We're drawing the right rib cage back. Don't lose that now as you inhale and take the arms wide. Palms up, biceps up. Check the back arm, turn through forearm only to place the palm down. Same thing with the leading arm. Focus the gaze on the left middle finger. And then exhaling to the side. Keep this right side of the chest open, elbow to knee or sliding the hand down. Okay, watch not bringing the body forward. Keep the body in the long line of the mat, really reaching up with the right arm. Lifting the shoulder girdle, drawing the shoulder girdle down. Gazing up or down as best serves your neck. And then strong in the legs, push down, push yourself up, hands to the hips, feet to the front. Focus on the breath. Okay, so shorten stride length just a little. We're going to come back into a bent leg, short stride warrior two, and then fold into Trikonasana. So turn the right foot out to 90 again, left toes in, heels are in line. Bend that right knee. Okay, interlace the hands behind the back again. And if you can, bring your hands around to the right side of the waist and take the right thigh. So we'll lean into that leg more like another version of Parsvakonasana. Okay, so these hands on the thigh, you're turning from inside to outside. Okay, so there's that outer thigh tucking down. And you're keeping the left side of the ribcage, left shoulder drawing back. So from that bent knee position, we'll straighten the leg, slide the hand just below the knee, and then releasing the left hand, stretch up to 12 o'clock. Trikonasana. Trikonasana. Once again, gazing up the arm or down to the floor. Feel the breath in the spine. Just making sure the shoulder's leading that high arm back, not the hand. So hand and elbow a little bit ahead of the shoulder. The shoulder should feel comfortable. The work is in the spine to create the twist. Breathe length into the spine. Each inhalation, lift the chest. Legs straight but not locked. Pressing the feet firmly into the floor. Feel the legs super strong to push you back up. Hands to the hips, feet to the front. Breathe. Second side, left foot out to 90, right toes in. Bend the left knee, interlace the hands behind the back. Bring the hands around to the left side of the waist, left thigh if possible. Okay, turning really emphasizing that outward rotation of the left hip. And then straightening the leg. Okay, so feel as you straighten the leg, you're keeping the outer thigh tucking down, keep turning the right side of the chest back. And as you slide the hand down below the knee, the last thing that happens, you release that right arm. Breath in the spine, breath lifting the chest, lengthening the spine. Strong, strong legs. Looking good, lovely. Straight but not locked. If you feel like your knees are locking, just press the shin bone into the hand. Draw the kneecap up. And then with the strength of the legs, up we come. Hands to the hips, feet to the front, connecting again with the breath in the spine. Okay, now just watch me for a minute. We're going to float now from Trikonasana through the bent leg position to come into Ardha Chandrasana. So the opening of the legs and hips remains the same. The brick that you take your hand to, or the chair or the coffee table or whatever you've got, okay, is a little bit behind the foot and about 30 centimetres ahead of the foot, basically your trunk length. Because remember, this support is like an arm extender. If the arm can't reach the floor, then it just provides length to the arm. Of course, if you're flexible, you might like to come all the way down. And if you come all the way down, the leg needs to go higher. Okay, or you could come higher. If you're a little bit unsteady, feel free to use the wall. Just focus on the alignment in the hip and take the balance out of the equation. So if you like, come with me into it. So we'll flow into it from Trikonasana. So right foot's out to the side, left toes in. Inhale the arms high and wide. Exhale, side bend into Trikonasana. Now look down. Look down, we bend the right knee to transition the weight onto the right leg and take the hand to the brick. So you don't want to be in too wide a stride. Now, as you go into it, try to keep that right knee back and the right outer groin tucked down. So to come into it nice and strong, nice and gracefully. Once you're in it, keep looking down for balance, or if your balance is fine, look ahead, and ultimately we're going to look up the arm. So first focus is just getting the basic line of the pose, body strong. And then see if you can gracefully lower back out of it into Trikonasana. And then up we come. Hands to the hips, feet to the front, and change sides. So positioning your support where it's going to serve you. So a little bit behind the foot to maximise the chest opening. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, folding into Trikonasana. Looking down, bending that left knee, keeping the left knee drawing back, left outer thigh tucking down, and transitioning fully onto that leg, coming up with nice control. Once you're there, looking up or down or forward. Okay, gracefully lowering back into Trikonasana. Let's go once more to each side. So you all know what you're doing now. Own the practice. Get into the flow of it. Some of you might like to ditch a brick and aim for the floor if you're super flexy. Okay, but remember the focus really is on the control. Particularly in that transition to one leg. Just like when we do Warrior 3. Nice relaxed breathing while you sustain your pose. And gracefully coming out of the pose by Trikonasana, back up to the front. And final side. Left foot out to 90, right toes in. Inhale, Trikonasana. Okay, gracefully lowering, Trikonasana, and then back upright. Feet together, feet forward, hands on the hips, then step the feet together. And let's relax forward in Uttanasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fall forward and just letting the body hang. Okay, or if you need support, elbows on bent knees. Lovely. And strong legs come up to standing. And we're going to come back down onto the floor. And we're going to lie over a brick or bolster. And I want you to have the brick or the bolster lengthways across the back. So it'll be like this, which pushes the shoulder blades into the back. Okay, so if we go this way, it focuses more on spinal opening. But when we turn it this way, you'll feel it holds the scapula into the back. So you can use a brick or a bolster if you want to be a bit softer. Okay, the bolster also will do the job. So you can see with the bolster, I've got it across the long line of the mat. And I'm going to use a brick under the head, and I'm just going to grab another bolster for my knees. So it's just a nice little variation of Suitability. It's going to open the front of the chest by pressing that scapula into the back. So I don't know if I dropped out there. By pressing the scapula into the back, it's going to create a little bit more opening through the pecs. So just shuffle a little bit so there's space for the arms. You can kind of let the scapula be stabilized down by that bolster. And relax. It's really letting go of effort now, surrendering to gravity. Nice big breaths up into the chest. Feeling both sides of the chest expanding away from whatever you're lying on. Breath enhancing the opening through the front of the body. Okay, so we're going to come from here into figure 4, and you might like to have the bolster under the pelvis. So taking the support out from under the head, and just going to be rolling to the side, whatever helps you transition. And for a moment, just settling into your, it's kind of like a mini Setabandha. Just feeling how the bolster is a nice relaxing saddle that supports the pelvis and low back. And then when you're ready, hug the knees into the chest. And hook left ankle over right knee and gently draw the right knee into the chest. Now, if you don't lose the stretch in the left hip, you can straighten the behind leg. Okay, so it's like almost like an upside down Mahamudra now. If you put the focus on the breath, inhale, pause, exhale, pause. And you can do that with the knee bent as well. Refining Mula Bandha on each exhale, you're already in a little bit of a Jalandhara Bandha. That's a nice chin lock position, automatically chin locked. Release the legs, hug the knees back into the chest, and come to your second side. Right ankle over left knee, gently hugging left knee in. And then if you're able to straighten that back leg, if you've done it your first side, have a go this side. Just don't lose the stretch in the right hip. Connecting with the breath. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. And releasing, hug the knees to the chest. And then slide the feet to the floor. And we're going to inhale, bridge up, exhale down. Just moving gently in and out of that bridge. And if you like, next time you lift up, just staying up there. Feel the feet pressing firmly into the floor, pushing the pubic bone high. Feel how easy it is to engage the pelvic floor here. Mula Bandha, Sahajali Mudra. Nice strong glutes. And nice strong Jalandhara Bandha. Position, chest lifting to the chin. And then on an exhale, we're going to relax down. Now you can stay resting there, or if it's comfortable to, straighten the legs along the floor. And we're going to take out feet. So you can stay here. If that feels like enough, stay there. But we can enhance the hip opening further by coming a little bit into like a banana pose. So just bringing the feet to the left and take the arms up and overhead, which kind of counterbalances the heaviness of the legs. Now, what I've enjoyed doing here, if you're a little bit tight in the hips or tense in the hips, then just if you slide your hands, you need flesh on flesh, slide your hands under your tights and just gently draw the skin and the underlying fascia up towards the navel. So you're on the front of the hip here, just above the groin, and just feel that little, it's an area where there's a lot of fascia that can get tight and tense. So you might like to have a little play with releasing that. I've been experimenting with this. Not so easy to get the tennis balls into the hips, but this nice fascial, the subtlety of this fascia lengthening seems to be quite effective. Good for tight, tense hips, good for any irritation of sacral iliac joints, endometriosis, the kind of scar tissue you get in that condition. And then releasing, bringing the feet back to the midline, and we'll go to the second side. Okay, if you need a break, if your back's getting a little uncomfortable there, just bend your knees up for a minute. And as you like, just having that nice little fascia stretch again. Breathing into the front of the hips. And releasing. Hug the knees into the chest. Exhale, hug the knees in. Inhale, stretch the legs up to the sky. Now feel free to stay with moving in and out of it or hold the legs up in Viparita Karani. Attention on the breath in the spine. Now you can stay with that rest and repeat. Or we're going to move through a series of movements into Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. So first option, and this is also a fine option if you're menstruating and want to stay here, you can just come into a Seta Bandha. So we're going to lift the pelvis and replace the bolster with a brick. Okay, so if you're menstruating, if you've got high blood pressure, this is perhaps enough. Okay, or you stay with the Viparita Karani. You can even, if you've got a wall handy, you can take your legs up the wall if you want to stay with a nice gentle Viparita Karani. From here, you've got the option of a stronger Viparita Karani. Now remember, Viparita Karani or half shoulder stand, you want the back to remain extended. So we can bring the legs up with the pelvis and the brick. So if you round the back, you'll probably topple off your brick, which could be quite uncomfortable. Okay, and lovely Jalandhara bandhas. So feeling the bandhas, Mula bandha on the exhale, refining Mula bandha on each exhale. It's a really good position for both of the bandhas. Now you can also replace your hands, your brick with your hands to come into half shoulder stand. Okay, and then some of you will feel able to go up into the full shoulder stand. The main thing, if you're using the hands instead of the brick, again, you want to keep the back extended. So you're dropping the pelvis onto the pedestal that the hands are. A little bit heavy on the wrists. And those of you that want to come further, you can go feet over head and then come up into shoulder stand. And I mentioned last week, I think, about the possibility of coming into the shoulder stand at the wall by doing a bridge up the wall. So if you've got a wall handy or even a chair that you can put your feet up on. And I'm disappearing a little bit here, but I think you get the sense. I've got my feet up the wall and I'm bridging up with my feet on the wall. So remember that's an option. So shoulder stand is quite hard to come up into. I don't even have a chair to demonstrate. It's quite nice to do it on a chair too. Maybe I'll just demonstrate with just create a little platform here so you get the sense of what I'm talking about. So imagine this is a chair. So I've got my feet on a chair or a stool or a bench and then pressing up. So it just gets you that little bit higher up. Okay, the challenge with shoulder stand is the mobility in the upper back and neck. So we need time to condition the neck to taking that little bit of weight and having the length in the upper back muscles. And of course, some of you do shoulder stand effortlessly. If you're in shoulder stand, feel free to go overhead into halasana. Remember never to push this from the point of view of the neck. And I think wherever you are now, you can slowly roll down. Now, some of you know how to do fish pose, Matsyasana as a counter pose, but otherwise we'll do the nice, easy, safer counter pose, which is Salabasana. So when you're ready now, roll over onto your belly and just relax on your belly for a moment. And take the feet mat width apart and gently rock the pelvis side to side, relaxing. Just shaking out any tension in the body. And then coming to stillness. Be completely still except for your breath. And there's various versions of Salabasana we can work with as a counter pose. So let's slide the hands by the side of the body. And we're going to lift up on an inhale, lift head, neck and shoulders. And exhale, lower down, resting on alternate cheeks. In time with your breath, inhaling and exhaling. And if you like, add in lifting alternate legs, head, neck, shoulder, and one leg at a time. And if you want to work stronger still, lifting head, neck and shoulders and both legs together. Keep long at the back of the neck, chin slightly tucked in. Be attentive the feet don't go too wide. Now, the big toes don't need to be touching, but be aware they're not too far from each other. When you're even with your legs in the lift and you're even with your head turned side to side, then relaxing. Be completely still except for your breath. Now feel free to remain there, or if you like, push back into child pose. Just reopen the back. And now push up, come up to sitting. Sit comfortably, spine long. Sit however you're comfortable. You can sit in kneeling, you can sit on a chair, you can sit on 100 bolsters, maybe not 100. Has my internet dropped out? Nope, there I am. Okay, so sitting comfortably, spine long, and we're going to do just a little bit of pelvic floor awareness, a little bit of our working on our Kapalabhati breath. So eyes closed, spine long. At the end of the inhale, feel the chest rising up to the chin. You can tuck the chin slightly forward. Just feeling a partial Jalandhara Bandha on the inhale. And then on the exhale, let's connect with the subtleties of the pelvic floor. So with each exhale to begin, drawing in Ashwini Mudra. So they're the muscles around the anus. They're the easiest of the muscles to engage, the bigger muscles of the pelvic floor. And releasing on the inhale. So just get a little sense of pulsing with the exhale. And then bringing your attention to the front side of the pelvic floor. So this is the small part of the pelvic floor muscles that wrap around the urethra, where we wee from. And just feeling just below the pubic bone. Even take your hand down into that area and just see whether you can feel. So this is one of the harder areas to activate, and this is one of the more important muscles to engage to prevent urinary incontinence. So it'll be a smaller muscle, a more subtle experience. With each exhale, gently engaging this muscle. If you don't feel the muscle working, then just taking your attention to that area. It's not that we don't work this area. I mean, our bridge up really helps to facilitate this front side of the pelvic floor. So I just need to bring our attention to it a bit more to switch it on. And if you're able to, see if you can isolate this muscle separate from the rest of the pelvic floor. Each exhale, gently engaging. Each inhale, relaxing. And then before we come to the pure Mula Bandha, just relaxing the pelvic floor completely. Relaxing the mind, sense the breath in the spine. So in the female body, that Mula Bandha is in the center, in the area of the cervix. It's quite deep. Getting a feeling of the perineum drawing up is also helpful. So on each exhale now, final awareness, seeing whether you can distinguish this middle area from the front and the back. Engaging on the exhale, relaxing on the inhale. And besides the anatomical and physical benefit, energetically, this is a really important area because this is the seat of Kundalini, our primal energy. So as a meditative tool, keeping our awareness down in this space can also enhance your meditation. You just need to work with it and see what happens. So you might like to rest and repeat that focus, or placing your hand on your belly now. Particularly if you're empty, if you've not eaten recently, you can be perhaps a little bit more forceful now and work with that engaging of the pelvic floor. Okay, Mula Bandha particularly with the exhale. So the tummy comes in on the exhale and relaxes on the inhale. Forced exhalation, passive inhale, and maybe having a go 3 or 4 breaths. And then in between those breaths, just relaxing back into awareness. Not being too vigorous if you're menstruating or have high blood pressure. After those 3 or 4 breaths, relaxing. And when you're ready, one more round. Coordinating Mula Bandha, lower abdomen with the forced exhale. And then a lovely entry into meditation, back into your meditation. So feel free to remain in sitting in meditation, or you can make your transition now to lying. Completely relaxed now. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to be. Just floating in awareness. Bodiless, mindless awareness. Realizing your source. Come very slowly out of your practice. And if you'd like to join me closing with 3 Oms, bring hands together at your heart. Inhale deeply. Gently bow your head to your hands. Namaste.